Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure review, and today we are jumping into the time machine as we take a look at this carded G.I. Joe, a real American hero action figure. So we are looking at First Sergeant, codenamed Duke. And what makes this action figure special is that this was part of Hasbro's 25th anniversary for a real American hero, which spanned at the time 1982 to 2007. So the action figure that we're looking at right now, that's in my hand, is approximately 15 years old, if I'm doing my math right. Great action figure. It's a little bit dated in terms of its articulation scheme, but at the time when these came out, man, G.I. Joe collectors were really excited. Man, I was so excited when the 25th anniversary line came out. And I believe this was one of the ways you could get this figure. I think there was a box set. There were two box sets at the time. And the box sets were cool because they kind of came with a display base. And there was a Cobra box set and a G.I. Joe box set. And I think the G.I. Joe one even had the theme song from the cartoon. I think you pressed a button and it'd play like a snippet of the theme song. And I think that was one of the ways you could get Duke. On the back, here's a very, very cool, almost like checklist of all the different 25th anniversary figures at the time. And they weren't shy about producing all these figures. They gave us like so much during this whole like anniversary period. It was fun. I'm like kicking myself because I had a lot of these figures mint on card and some of the box sets. And years ago, I was kind of going through this purge, and I felt the need to sell some of my toys, and I've regretted it ever since because some of these things I'm never going to get back. Because the secondary market prices on them are really high. So yeah, if you ever hit a spot where you feel a need to sell stuff, always think twice. Just tell yourself, is this something I really want to give up? Or if I do sell it, how easy is it going to be for me to obtain it later? There's some toys like Legos, Transformers, G.I. Joes. On the secondary market, anywhere between 5 to 10 years later, you might find yourself paying like an arm and a leg for something you might have bought way back when. For example, I'm running off on a tangent here, but I just want to share this cautionary tale with you. Like for example, I was going through my basement today because I participate in Brick World. It's a big Lego convention. It's like one of the biggest in the world, and there's one coming up in 2023 in Chicago. And I plan on attending, and I want to make a Lego Scarif mock from Star Wars. And then I remember that in my basement, I actually had 2 unopened boxes of the Lego Scarif set. And that's something I bought when it first came out for maybe like $60. On the secondary market now, it's going for like well over $200. It's ridiculous. So, like a word of caution, if you have like a collection of action figures and you feel the need to sell them, unless it's a dire emergency, like if you really need the money for like, something important with the family or like surgery or something, go ahead, sell it. But if it's like one of those things where like you're bored of a toy, or you don't want to deal with it or look at it anymore, you're just tired of it, always think twice before you sell it. There's a reason why you bought the toy in the first place, because chances are you really wanted it. And I've learned the lesson the hard way that sometimes if you sell stuff, it's much harder to get back. So lesson learned with these G.I. Joes. I really miss having these figures. Which brings us to this guy here. I saw this guy at my favorite local toy store, which is Wax Packs Records and Toys, located in beautiful Roselle, Illinois. If you're in the Chicagoland area, check this store out. It's my favorite. So Aaron at Wax Packs had this in stock last week. It immediately caught my eye. When I saw it, I knew it was not one of the recent Walmart re-releases. I saw the badge up here for the 25th anniversary, and the asking price on this was reasonable. The card's pretty decent shape. It's not really dog-eared or messed up. And I believe I paid a little bit over $20 for this. And for me, just the fact that I wanted this so bad out of nostalgia, it was worth it for me. So with that being said, we have Duke, one of the popular G.I. Joes. He's kind of like the John Wayne Optimus Prime of the Joe team. Wonderful silver logo. As you can see, it's not just white. They actually incorporated some silver. It's nice and reflective. Updated graphic of Duke. He has his jump pack. The very popular Joe laser rifle. And he comes with the flag, and it's awesome too because if you wanted to, this kind of recreates the scene from the animated feature. You know, where he's flying around at the beginning of the movie with the flag. It's awesome. So yeah, really cool figure. And he comes with a bio card. You know, I say this all the time. I wish action figures did this. You know, give us a bio card. And we're lucky because today I actually have a loose one. So we're going to take a look at this guy loose and talk about his articulation and whatnot. Alright, so we have the 25th anniversary of Duke here. And it's a very lightly colored action figure, so he's not going to show up under my light all that well. So I got this just right. Alright, there we go. So his uniform, it's not that kind of like yellow, like in the cartoon or on his original figure. It's kind of more like a very like off-white. It's like almost like a sandy white, if I had to describe the color of his uniform, which explains why you can't see him under my light. My light doesn't want to. This guy's not very photogenic. The jump pack is colored gray, which I believe is a nod to the cartoon. The original toy, if you remember, was green, and this easily removes. And he has a socket in his back. His helmet does come off, and it even has the little nubs on the side, if you can see that right there. So there's the little nubs for a visor, but it doesn't come with a visor. Duke himself, I believe this line of action figures is a little bit more on the 4-inch scale, not necessarily the 3 3/4 ones. They're taller than the original figures. So yeah, the 25th anniversary figures were 4 inches tall, as you can see right there. So I think they did away with the rubber bands. Yeah, they did away with the rubber bands. So he doesn't swivel at the waist like the old figures did. Instead, they had a cut underneath the chest. So if you wanted to rotate him, I didn't like this. I kind of felt that they should have cut him at the waist, not at the chest. So he rotates at the chest, which I don't think is a good look. But it allows him to crunch forward and doesn't really arch back. But in terms of the other articulation, it's pretty nice for this action figure. His arms rotate. They go up, elbow bend, elbow swivel. Wrists are articulated, but it was odd too. They cut it mid-forearm, which was weird. They should have really cut it at the wrist. I have no idea why they did that. So this articulation scheme was something I think they improved on much later, a few years down the road with the live action movies. You know, there was dedicated lines to like Rise of Cobra and I think G.I. Joe Retaliation. Those were 4-inch action figures. Those two lines are like my favorite G.I. Joe lines. Rise of Cobra and Pursuit of Cobra. That was awesome also. He comes with the harness over his chest, holster, and I believe it's functional. You can take out his pistol. Legs kick up, legs kick out. Double pinned knees. So it's kind of wild. You know, this is a smaller action figure, but does afford some of the articulation of like a 6-inch figure. And then his ankles are articulated also. So this was exciting for Joe fans during this time period because, you know, the advancements in action figure engineering and articulation was kind of like leaps and bounds beyond what we had as kids growing up in the 80s. So it was just really nice to get something like this. Does this figure hold up well? Yes and no. Like I said, you know, Hasbro continued to make some 4-inch figures down the road. And the articulation, gradually improved with every generation. But this was like a step in the right direction. So this was kind of like the baby steps. But overall, it's a great figure. I love this guy a lot. Very nostalgic for this time period. If I could find more of these guys, reasonably priced, I might add more to my collection. Like I said, I really regret selling the ones I did have mint on card back in the day. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.